Yo, all right. So it's gonna be real quick. I don't know if it's gonna be quick because when I explain things, it might not always necessarily be quick. But morality, right? I was kind of like really dissect where I developed my natural morality code, right? Because stop saying right, Junior. Like as I go on through life and I learn different things, I experience different things. My ideas of right and wrong they change. You understand? I start to learn some things I thought was right is now wrong. Some things I thought was wrong, I believe is right now. With all that being said, there's like a there's still like an overlying consensus of what I consider to be good, right? Whether it's doing the right thing no matter what, or whoop whoop, cause et cetera, et cetera. And trying to navigate where exactly it was rooted in has been like a thought process for me. So I was thinking about superheroes. Now stick with me. Stick with me. It might sound crazy. It might sound crazy, but stick with me. So superheroes, now in real life they always say there are no superheroes, right? You have like, certain jobs and this, that, and the third. But superheroes in the way they're portrayed in movies, comic books, et cetera, plays a big part in a lot of children's lives. Like superheroes are inspiring to children, like worldwide. Like whether it's Superman or Batman or and me, I was one of those kids that was really into superheroes. Right to this day, I'm really into superheroes, and I always used to think about um, who made who right in a situation. So, for instance, when it comes to morality, Captain America is naturally known as somebody who's more morally sound than somebody like Tony Stark, right? Not to say either one of them is bad, but Tony does have some ideologies that can lead to a more controlled mindset. For example, we have the Ultron situation, right? Tony wanted to control. Yes, the idea was good because he wanted to protect Earth. We're going to get back to the idea. The idea was good because he wanted to protect Earth, but the plan was bad. Suit of armor around the world, bad idea. Because it led to Ultron. Fast forward, you have somebody like Killmonger, right? Killmonger wanted equality, right? And usually the argument is Killmonger the bad guy or is he not the bad guy, right? And I always wondered, where does the argument come from? The justification. Where does the justification come from? And usually people try to justify the villain because they root the villain's intentions in their ideas. Same thing with Thanos. Thanos wanted balance for half of the universe. But his plan was to destroy half of the universe to accomplish this balance. Okay? Watch where I'm going with this. Watch where I'm going with this, right? So, growing up, I used to hear certain people make little arguments for the villain sometimes just because the villain had the right idea. And then I used to think, is that a good justification? Does the villain have the right idea or do they have the wrong idea? And that's what makes them the villain. And I thought to myself, what is usually the point the superhero is trying to make to the villain when the villain is going about their plan and the superhero is trying to thwart their plan or like destroy it or make it collapse? And it usually comes down to the taking of control, right? And I thought about that because when reading the Bible, it talks about how, all things work together for good. And we don't, and sometimes it feels like we don't have superheroes who are gonna fly in and swoop in and do all of the things, right? But as humans, because we don't have any, we have a lot of humans that try to take control, right? Whether it's governments, whether it's people trying to make decisions for other people or people trying to pass judgment upon other people based on their decisions and their ideas. But the truth is, the second you try to take matters into your own hands is where you lost the plot. You feel me? And that's what makes the idea itself still bad because then you wonder, right? All right, Thanos' whole thing was like, bro, the universe is ending. What are we going to do? And like the whole point is like regardless if the universe is ending or not, Thanos, that's not up to you to take that control. Same thing, Killmonger. That's not up to you to take over the world. Same thing, Iron Man. That's not up to you to build Ultron, this AI, and control the people. Same thing, Captain America, Winter Soldier. Nick Fury and Hydra put 35 helicarriers in the sky with locked on missiles ready to eliminate crimes before they started. And Captain America said that's not protection, that's fear. That's fear, right? And I only bring this up because in my last video right before this, I don't know which one will be up first. I was reading the book of Nahum, and it talks about how, like, the Lord won't leave any unjust person unpunished. You feel me? But as humans, because people have through time, people have lost their faith or their idea or their belief in that, they try to take matters into their own hands. And that's the idea that is wrong. You understand? That's the idea that is wrong, right? Because that's the whole, like, you can't you can't stop certain things. You feel me? Everybody loses when you try to play God. Everybody loses when we try to play God. And that's what always made the villain and the hero. You feel me? Because technically, when you think about it, it's no different than today's day and age where you got two different governments who both think they're right for the right idea. You understand? You have two opposing sides who both think they're equally just for a right idea, which could be world peace or it could be whatever they claim it to be. But regardless of the fact, the taking of control and the collateral damage that's gonna happen because you, a person, an imperfect person, decides to take matters into their own hands, detrimental, detrimental, detrimental. God bless.